Hey, howdy, howdy, howdy. How's everybody doing? Well, tonight's Halloween. Other words, Hollow Eve. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, announcement, this Sunday, the time's changed back an hour, so if you end up at a place that you go to church or that and nobody's there, it's because you're an hour early. I did that one time. Yeah. Uh, So, what I was wanting to talk about, I've been looking, uh, what is Halloween about? What is started Halloween? What do we talk about at Halloween? You know? And the thing about Halloween is that, as far as I can understand, is people celebrated it to celebrate it to bonfire, to hoping that a good bonfire would have good crop. So it's kind of like I was thinking about it in the fall, all the leaves fall off, everything, your roses die. I mean, the bush don't die, but the roses fall off, everything just autumn, you know, and celebrating the deal. And they celebrating and dancing that the dead, that everything is going to be over. And then we have new crops, good special year. You know, it's a lot of a deal. There's a rumor, and never really found it out, but there was a rumor that they sacrifice babies. I've heard a documentary on it. I've heard that some people say it was, and you know, a lot of different cultures, countries celebrated Halloween different. It didn't come into the U.S. until I think it was the early 1800s, 1900. I know it was in the 1800s, and it was the Scottish that brought it over here, and it's been celebrated years of years. And the main thing that it started out was a bonfire to hopefully have good crops next year, and that. So, and really, the only people that actually celebrate Halloween in their culture is Wiccan. And it's no everybody else's belief. That's the only belief that Wiccans have. And what they did a lot of times in the future, I don't know exactly what it was, is that a lot of the women, they called Celts back then, would get together and they would dance around the fire, releasing all negative, and they were naked and all this stuff. And from a distance, with the brooms jumping around and that, it looked like they were flying. I don't know if somebody exaggerated that or what, but it's a lot of cultures that celebrate Halloween. It was later on that it adapted to a few things, you know, of, for masks. Masks were more on Halloween, but mask is also a spiritual culture in some places. Native American wore face masks of animals in animal skin as costumes. They believed that they transform into a spiritual animal. And I don't know if any of you ever go to a powwow. I suggest going to a powwow and really get into their culture, because powwows is really a lot of the dances, the animals, the deal. There's a guy that makes his own mask because of his name and his culture and deal. If I was to make a mask of me, it would be a wolf, and I'd be a werewolf, because I believe I come from the hybrid family. Now, if I told this to the world and everything, they'd lock me up. You know, I didn't say I was a werewolf. I said I believe that I come in the werewolf generation, you know, and a lot of people don't really know that, you know, but the wolf is my totem, and the ravens my totem, the panthers my totem, you know, and on and on. And I could dress up either one. I collect most of them. Like here is a alligators coming out of the shell. Uh, Behind me is I got an angel, Native American angel with bears on it, and then I got Jesus Christ holding a cross, and I have Buddha sitting there too. It's my beliefs in everything, and I play the music. I play a lot of stuff. You know, it's a lot of stuff, but you know, it became to a point where people were using cultures like gargoyles and everything to scare. They saying Halloween is for evil. It's all this, but you know, evil's everywhere. It ain't just on Halloween. Evil can be anything. It's out there, and it is real. Don't underestimate it. It is real, you know. And it says in the Bible, it didn't say witches. It said wicked and witchery. Now, you can take those and say, yeah, witchcraft. And witchcraft is what they're preferring was black magic. You know, they weren't preferring like, do not use herbal medicine. Do not. And herbal medicine was used to heal people. And it became that they outlawed it and called it evil, and they were practicing witchcraft. And that is something that is scary that you need to stay away because Ouija boards, every culture and belief says stay away from the Ouija board because an Ouija board you can conjure up a demon and it is dangerous. Buddha, I don't get into Buddha because Buddha is raising up demons, zombies. It could raise up something, you know, I don't want to deal with. And don't make a Buddha a man. Buddhist, Buddha, voodoo is really it's a culture. I don't really understand it. I don't really want to get involved in that. I'll get involved with a lot of stuff, you know, and over the history, and you know, it's called and I don't understand it. It's because Halloween is collecting the souls. And I'm like, well, Christians call collecting the souls on December the 2nd, but this is what I don't understand. In Revelations in the Bible, is God will come down when He comes the second coming of Christ. All the people in the graveyards will come alive, and then all of our souls will go to heaven and a new earth. So, are they numbering the souls today to who's going to go, and then have it all figured out by the time you know? That's confusing. So it's what man made, you know, because I have not seen where it says collecting of souls. You know, it's just that we say collecting of the souls. That could be anything. It could be the demon. That could be God. It could be, you know, who collects our soul? The one that created us and gave us a soul. That's who I believe has got my soul. He owns me. You know, it's like you make something and it's yours. You give it away and it comes back, but you are the owner of that, you know. So he gave me free will to choose, you know. But it really what people are using in Halloween is that they're wanting to scare people. And it became a culture of scaring people, being a demon, being a vampire, being gargoyles. And really, you know, gargoyles, I have found out they are protectors of the Christians and of the people. They are ugly gargoyles. If you ever been to England, they sit on churches and places, business, you know, castles. Gargoyles are supposed to be protectors. I convinced they're evil, but I guess it depends where you live, you know, and and that. And I've seen costumes all over the place. And I gotta tell this before I go on. There's a joke. I've been trick or treating before I was even born, and the story behind that was my aunt didn't want to be seen. Always had, and afraid people see her. Didn't want to be seen. And my mom, and she was 20, 21, somewhere around there, and she'd take my cousin up there, and my mom was little bitty, and they'd give her candy, not knowing she's a full grown woman pregnant. So that's where that joke came from. It's a thing, and the candy actually came from Christians. They started the candy, the celebration, which I don't understand is Christian people of churches preach against stuff like Halloween and celebration and all that, but they go out and enjoy it. Trunk or treats, trunk or deal, and that. And in the old days, I think it was in I forgot what year, medieval days or somewhere, that what the deal was, if you didn't give me a treat, I'd pull a prank on you. And like I said, I have read different stories about Halloween and everything, and I've heard a lot of good stuff, but it's just that it's or treat, and whatever it's calling about is that you either give me a treat or I'm going to trick you into giving me a treat. And that's basically what it is. I mean, it's just gone on to adapt it to other things in the world, you know. And I know in my generation, I think it was Easter because we got into the deal that we throwed eggs. And that's the thing about Halloween is pulling pranks on people. It wasn't like April Fool's where you told a joke or tricked somebody. It's actually performing a prank. Like dumping water on, or dumping this, doing that. People didn't give you treats. You TP'd your house trees with toilet paper, and it became a fun deal. And that. I know in my hometown, the law said we could do each other. We did it in another place, as long as we don't have people that are not participating in it. You know, and that's what we had to follow the rules. And no water balloons. I found out why we weren't allowed to use water balloons. They put safety pins in them so they pop. You know, and it's a lot of different cultures today. It's like but the thing was back in them days is that they used to give cupcakes. They would bake goods and they would give them out to the children or the adults or whatever came around. I remember we were getting cookies and stuff and that, but then there was a rumor going around. I've heard it a lot. A lot of people heard that people were putting razor blades in apples and stuff. And I do know one story. There was a guy that made up some candy and put some larcen in it and that to give out. Well, his kids got it and ate it and killed. And it kind of backfired him in a bad way, which, and we always told, watch out if candy's been unwrapped or wrapped and everything, have parents check it out. But thing I've understood is that nobody worries about idiots driving or child abducted. When the parent, you know, and some parents dress up and go up there to the door with the children so they can keep an eye on them and protect them, you know. But nowadays, some of the churches and stuff have this trunk or treat to play it safe and that, and that's pretty good. I know I took my son to a my old high school and got candy there, and yeah. But it's a lot of safety. It's like it's we change in a world that everything is becoming scary and everything, and Halloween is actually for the adults too. It's what I understood. It's the children that trick or treat and all that got grown, but they still want to dress up and they still want to be a part of Halloween, dancing, and all this and all that, and the bobbing for apples. Do you know what bobbing for apples actually meant? You bobbed in for an apple and you bite it, and the next, and it's like a female bite it or the other male bites it. Well, the other person picks it up and bites it. That's your date for the night. In that, and I don't know if that's true or not, but well, I mean, they did bob for apples, but I don't know about the saying was true or not. But a lot of people play. It'd be like spinning the bottle, you know. And but be careful out there. Halloween is celebrating. It's like a New Year's, the out with the old, in with the new. Uh, all the winter and that, and then when spring comes, everything blossoms out beautiful. And yeah, and I don't know if that's Halloween doing that or is that but every year we do have good crops, and every year in some areas we have a heat wave, we have a dry spell, and yeah, we have what they call a drought. And I've been in a few of those, and yeah, and you never know really a lot of the stuff. To me, some of it might be superstitious, some of it might be real, but I'm not gonna say either way because I ain't gonna say something I don't know. I do. It's like like I was welding galvanized. I don't get sick. You drink milk to not get sick, but you don't get sick. It's a thing. The flu shot, never had the flu and all that. Military makes me take it. I ain't had sick either. Uh, you know, I don't know. I just know that I never get sick, and I got to do what the VA tells me. And it's the thing that we live in a place that we got to lock our doors nowadays. We got to chain up. You know, But the deal of Halloween was to wear masks, scare people, be something scary, and everything. And I still ain't figured out what is so scary about a ballerina. And I had a woman said, "Oh, yeah, you're supposed to look ugly." Well, I thought that was what it is. A look at something scary, And there's a lot of times people dress up with the mask. Even Asia, I think it's China, they wear their mask in performance for a spiritual celebration. They do the dragons. They do a lot of stuff. You know, dragons really is what we called the devil back in the day when it was actually the serpent was the devil, and it tricked Eve in, which it really Satan tricked the devil, the serpent, into tricking Eve. Eve tricked Adam, and it went on. And we started blaming people. We started pointing fingers. We started to sin. We started everything, you know. But don't worry about the unknown, you know. Mike told him the panther protects me from the unknown. It's one of my teachers. Totems are spiritual guides that protect us. I remember seeing a picture. It was a woman. She was wearing a hoodie. What they called a hoodie back then was a cape with a hood. And she was walking home or somewhere, I don't know. And it was night and had a full, and it had a black panther in the sky looking down. And this woman walks by and says, "Oh, that's scary. That's scary." And I said, "Why is it scary?" And she was like, she didn't want. She opened her mouth but didn't want to say anything. You know, people want to say something, but they don't want to back it up. They just want to tell you what they are and then go on bye. But I told her it looks to me like she's on a lonely night, dark, and the panther is watching over her to protect her. It's how you see it. Not everything has to be ugly and beautiful and everything. The picture was that she was being watched from above, not on the ground, not in the trees, not something going to jump at her, but it was in the sky. Her spirit guide was watching her like a guardian angel. That's what I saw in the picture. It's like the death card in the writer's card. I looked at it. It has a cross. It has a knight. It has a skull. It has a deal. It's the reborn card. It means death is that the old, out with the old, in with the new. A whole new deal. You know, I can't have new behaviors until the old behaviors die. Then I got to sacrifice a few of the ideal stuff. You know, I got to change stuff. I got to go to different meetings. I got to put on stuff. I got to find things, you know. But what somebody's afraid of could be a positive something. Somebody sees something good in it. Really look at what you're looking at. For me, as long as it's not blood running out of everything, I'm okay. I can't stand blood. I can't actually stand anything that's gross, really. You know, and really, what I hated about these slasher movies were I like scary movies that got big monsters, armies, zombies, fighting vampire wars. You know, I like those kind of movies. I don't like movies where they got a slasher. And do you know even today when this movie came out 40 years ago, it is still popular today. They keep adding on every 20 years. That is Halloween. It is considered the number one scary movie. It was a slasher, but it was a demon where it was possessed by a demon that you could not kill Michael Myers. And no matter what they did to him, he come back. The only part I don't understand is she cut his head off and he came back and they done a lot of stuff. Now Ron Zombie, now he tried to do his version of Halloween, which excited, but it did not beat the Michael Myers. Michael Myers of Halloween from '78 is still making millions off of that movie. And you ever really want to watch a good Halloween, that's the one to watch. And I'll tell you one show that really scared me, and I mean it really affected me, was Children of the Corn. I'm telling you, that was the one that really got me. I mean, it's like I don't know, your own kid killing you. Now they got another one that's it's called Old People, and old people come killing you. We had to lock my friend's dad up just to make sure he killed something. My, and this just shows movies to scum. Um, the true story of vampires was actually what they called vampires was sort of a racist mark towards certain people. Dracula lived up there. There was rumors he ate his father and all this and all that. Darren Stoker, the great grandson of Bram Stoker, he wrote a book on the story of Dracula, and it's a good book. I found out a lot of the stuff and how they became vampires, how they not. It's a mystery. People believe they are, where they turned into bats and that. It was rumors that started over Transylvania that they were making up these stories and that. And, some people, they're real. Are they real? Now, I'll tell you what I believe a vampire is somebody that sucks all your energy out of you dry. No matter how you help them, they'll drain you dry. And you can let these people, they'll move in, they take advantage of you, they will walk over you. They always want, and you can't give anymore. And the deal is you got to cut people off. You got to know where to stand. They will suck you dry, and I'm talking about energy, not blood, energy. And there are people out there that will do it. They depend on you to help you. You help. It's like this one guy used to live here. He'd come up. He borrowed $5 off me. Gave him $5. He never paid me back. And I'm one of them guys. I'm gonna give you no more. You know. And he'd gone up to people wanting money, wanting this, stealing stuff, everything, all that, till everybody got where they wouldn't help him. And when we wouldn't help him, he moved off. Found people who didn't know him. You know, got to watch out for those people. I know it in your heart you want to help them, and yeah, angels do come and test you, to see what kind of person you are. It's like the guy that said, he was, and it's an old story, but the new one I liked is where this guy was going to win the lottery. Put his faith in God. Yeah, he's going broke and everything. Somebody said, "Yeah, I'm going to win the lottery. I know I can win it. I've got it." And he fell behind on his mortgage. His wife left him. Lost his car. He became homeless. And he said, "God, what's up?" And this big old voice came down and said, "Buy a ticket." Think about it. God ain't going to do it for you. Your father ain't going to do it. Your mama ain't going to do it. Get up and do it. God has provided a way for you to do this. You know, and it's like the guy that was in a flood. He had a helicopter came by. I see. First he had a rowboat. Said, "No, God's going to save me." Big old yacht came by. And he said, "No, God's going to save me." Big old helicopter came by. And he said, "No, God's going to save you." And the guy drowned. He said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, I sent you a rowboat. I sent you a yacht. I sent you a helicopter, and you refused. So you tell me what's up." You know, and everything. But anyway, that's my theory. I went out and investigated. I watched YouTube on this stuff and came up with a lot of stuff. It's a lot of things. Halloween is a celebration of New Year, of out with the old, in with the new. Letting the dead, and basically it's just celebrating the fire, bonfire, so we'd have better crops. Now, I'm going to leave that in your hands if you want to believe that or not. I'm not going to try to convince you, yay or nay, because, you know, Halloween's Halloween. I'm single. My kids are grown and everything. I just don't get out on Halloween. I mean, I ain't saying I don't celebrate it. I'm not, I do go to Halloween parties or stuff, but I don't really get out into it and that. So, see you guys next week. Bye.